I did not cut calories. I did not starve myself. I did not step foot in a gym. And yes, I still lost 20 pounds. Not by eating salads, but by eating what I wanted and learning how to control my why. This is the full breakdown of the physical and emotional shifts I made. Without the gym, without a diet, and without losing my mind. If you're tired of chasing results and ready to understand your body and actually see it change, then stick with me throughout this video. Because this might just be the most honest weight loss video you will ever watch. If you are new here, I'm Kayla, and I'm not a fitness model, I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not perfect. I'm a woman who is tired of feeling uncomfortable in her own skin. Tired of losing weight and gaining it right back. Tired of constantly second guessing my body every time I looked in the mirror or every time I tried on some clothes that did not fit me. And most of all, I was just tired of making weight loss much harder than it needed to be. Let me be clear, I did not lose 20 pounds by starving myself. I did not follow some extreme 1 meal a day trend. I did not detox. I did not force 2-hour workouts every day. But what I did do was learn how to rebuild my relationship with food, stop rewarding my emotions with a bunch of sugar, and how to make weight loss actually work with the lifestyle that I was living. Busy, tired, not in the mood to track macros every single day. This isn't a before and after flex. This is a real life transformation. So let's go all the way back to day one and let me show you how it really started. So week one was probably one of the hardest weeks for me mentally. Not because I was eating differently, but because I was really shifting my identity. Instead of jumping straight into a meal plan, I did something a little bit different. Step one, I tracked how I ate before I started tracking what I ate. I did not track calories, I tracked my patterns. What times did I crave sugar the most? What was triggering my overeating? Was it my emotions? Was it my sadness? Was it my happiness? How did I feel after eating? Did I feel bloated? Did I feel calm? Did I feel happy? This gave me clarity because you cannot change what you don't see. Step two, I created food boundaries, not food rules. I told myself, you can have what you want, but you need to mean it. No emotional eating and no mindless snacking. So if I wanted chips, I sat down, no distractions, and I ate the chips. Not out of guilt or sadness, but from presence. That changed everything. Step three, I focused on morning wins. My first win of the day was always water. I drank a glass of water before I touched anything else. It helped wake up my body, kill early cravings, and it reminded me that I was in control today. Then I proceeded to walk. Not for fat burn, not for steps, but I told myself it's for my mind. 10 to 20 minutes outside, headphones in, music blasting, no pressure and no stress. Step four, I cleaned my environment. This is really underrated. I got rid of the snacks that I would always end up eating whenever I was going through an emotional breakdown because I was an emotional eater. I made my kitchen feel clean and peaceful just for an overall reset. I replaced my binge drawer from having soda and chips in it to having sparkling water, water bottles, and fruit. Not to punish myself, but to stop setting myself up for failure. The real shift in week one was I realized I did not need a meal plan. I needed emotional regulation because that is what was keeping me stuck. Because the truth is, sometimes you don't need more discipline. You need fewer decisions when you are the most emotionally vulnerable. So I simplified everything. I picked 3 meals I loved that did not make me feel bloated or heavy. And I gave myself permission to eat anything as long as I was emotionally clear and not binge eating. Do not focus on being perfect. Focus on not quitting. That is how I survived week one. No gym, no intense dieting, just a real mental shift. Now this is where things actually got a little bit interesting because week one was all about the mental. Week two is when my body started to catch up with my mind. I'm gonna be honest. Week two, I was expecting my cravings to get worse. I was expecting to just feel tired and just unmotivated and ready to give up. But what surprised me most is I actually started to feel peaceful, and that was the shift. I started asking myself this one question every time I was about to eat. Am I hungry, or do I just want something that'll make me feel different in the moment? Because that's what cravings really are. They're not hunger, it's you needing a mental state of change. Maybe you're bored, maybe you're lonely, maybe you're overwhelmed. I used to eat for every one of those reasons, but I never called it that. I called it cheating or being lazy or giving up. Now, I just started calling it what it really was. A moment of emotional discomfort. And when you face that moment head on, the cravings often go away. No, I did not cut out junk completely, But I did find and understand the difference between what felt good now and what will feel good later on. If I crave something sweet, I would always ask myself, will I feel heavy or bloated after this? Will this help me feel mentally proud when I actually go to sleep? Will I feel stuffed and bloated when I go to sleep? If the answer was no, I did not shame myself. I just waited 10 to 20 minutes. And 70% of the time, I didn't even want it anymore after that. When I first started out, I was not in a mental state to really set up a workout plan. I'm going to be honest. I was very, very depressed. So I want to talk about how I got movement in without structuring a strict plan in the beginning. I walked. I danced in my room with music on blast. I stretched. I got into doing body weight workouts like 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 bicycle crunches, stuff like that. Nothing too complicated, just movement with joy. This is what helped me get my emotional state right and also let me trust my body again. Here's what is important. I did not swap pizza for salads. I did not cut out my favorite foods, but I made 2 small but strong changes. I started eating earlier on in the day instead of waiting till late at night and binging that night because I was starving myself throughout the day. I stopped eating when I was satisfied, not waiting until I was stuffed. It's crazy how much weight really comes off when you simply just stop overeating. Week 2, I also started prioritizing sleep. That was a game changer. No more scrolling my phone in bed. No more eating past 9 p.m. No more falling asleep to Netflix. I ended up creating a sleep ritual that actually helped me get comfortable and ready for bed. As a result, I started waking up lighter. Not because of fat loss, but because I felt emotionally grounded. Now let's talk about week 3. This was probably the hardest week for me. Not because of cravings, but because my emotions came for me. You ever feel like the moment you start leveling up, everything else tries to pull you back? Yeah, that was week 3 for me. The mental mindset of, oh, I deserve this trap just because I'm having a bad day. You know that little voice in your head telling you, oh, you've been doing good all week, you deserve a break, this won't ruin anything. That is not your intuition. Sometimes that is sabotage dressed up as self-care. And I had to learn the difference. Self-care is not about comfort, it is about committing to your higher self. Without overworking yourself, of course. Now, let's talk about some feminine, girly, womanhood things, okay? Yes, my period still came. And yes, I was craving chocolate, I felt bloated, I was emotional, and I felt like nothing was changing because I was going through my cycle, okay? My monthly cycles. But instead of spiraling, I reminded myself that this is not failing, this is fluctuation. I honored my body with warmth, rest, and foods that actually fueled me without setting me back. Dark chocolates, sweet potatoes, warm grounding meals. And I didn't gain weight, but I really just needed some grace, especially during that time of the month. Now let's talk about how journaling can help you break emotional eating. 1 sentence per night, that is it. Today I showed up for myself when I wanted to quit. I chose peace over impulse, and I honored my body. That journal kept me accountable in a way that no app ever could. Social pressure and food, let's talk about it. Because yes, I still had to be around family, I still had to go to events around people who were offering me foods and eating a bunch of foods that I knew were not good for me. The old me would have folded, but the new me just smiled and said, no thank you, I'm good. And those moments right there made me feel more powerful than losing 5 pounds ever could. Because I just feel like the feeling you get when you're around a bunch of temptation but you don't give in, that is the ultimate power, I feel. And if you're around that and you don't give in, that is something that you should praise yourself and big yourself up for, because that's an accomplishment in itself. Now I want to tell you guys about my mini breakdown and why I needed it. I'm talking about emotions. I usually don't do this, but let's get into it. One night I just cried. Not because I was hungry, but because I realized how much of my identity was wrapped into the girl who always starts over or the girl who always goes back. And this is when it comes to anything, workouts, when it comes to my relationships, my friendships. I just felt like I was the girl who always went back to stuff that did not do me any good. I always went back to toxins. But this time I knew that I was not going back. And that scared me because I did not know who I would be when I was in shape. I did not know who I would be mentally, emotionally, not just physically, but just me as a person. And I knew that the reason why I was scared is because I was elevating and I had to let go of people from my past, you know, and that could be a scary feeling when you know that's all you know is the people of your past and you know have to let them go because I'm becoming just a better, elevated person. And it's not a feeling of, oh, you're better than, but it's a feeling of, wow, like now I'm starting to see the people who are really holding me back. And I feel like that's all deep dived into like self-love, and you're starting to love yourself with this. But I'll talk more about this in separate videos too. But that was just a little emotional part that I wanted to tell you guys. I let my tears fall, I journaled it, I went to bed, and the next day I got up and I kept going. Now let's talk about week 4, which I call the level up. This week I felt different. I wasn't just losing weight, but I was building momentum, and I feel like that's the most important thing. Clothes fit better, my energy was higher, my skin was clearer, and mentally I felt like I was finally back in control of my life. I let go of my obsession with being perfect. As a fellow Virgo, if you any Virgos out there, you might understand. If you don't believe in signs, I get it, but I do. As a Virgo, we sometimes tend to be perfectionists, and we're very hard in judging on ourselves. So this journey actually helped me overcome that challenge. Instead of aiming for perfection, I learned to aim to show up as a version of me who already won. That's how I stopped negotiating with a bunch of excuses. I did not have to be 100%. I just had to stop abandoning myself. Even while eating what I wanted, I still noticed less bloating, better digestion, and more satisfaction after my meals. Because I was chewing slowly, being present, and stopping when I was full. Turns out, food digests better when you're not eating out of guilt. People think weight loss equals boring meals, but here is what I actually ate. Protein, carbs, fats, and flavors. Balanced meals made from things that I personally liked. And when I wanted pizza or sweets, I would have them in moderation. 80-20 rule, okay? Week 4, I also dived deep into self-care. Cleaning my room, doing a skincare ritual, journaling, watching shows that I enjoy. And ironically, all of that actually helped me eat better. When you treat yourself with care, you don't need food to comfort you because you're doing that on your own. Yes, I ended up losing 20 pounds, but what really mattered is that I finally felt free. Not because I was smaller, but because I finally was not fighting myself anymore. Here are some lessons that I'll always keep with me forever. You don't need a diet, you need awareness. I lost weight without a diet because I was finally present and eating with intention. Emotional eating will not fix emotional pain. The truth is, you have to feel it, sit with it, then feed yourself with love, not with numbing. Movement is medicine, but it does not require a gym or overworking yourself. Walking, dancing, stretching, jump rope, yoga, whatever form you like to do, that is enough. Your body just needs to move. Your environment matters more than willpower. Set yourself up to win. Clean space, clean energy, clean fridge. Your weight is not the problem. Your weight is the result. Fix what's going on inside first. Trust me, and then the results will follow. This journey required honesty, and it required me to stop running from the emotions that were actually causing me to overeat. If you're ready to finally get results without punishment, if you want to be free from food guilt, if you want to wake up and feel proud, energized, light, and powerful, then you don't need to aim for perfection. Aim for presence, one honest meal at a time, one day at a time, because you already have the power. You just need to stop giving it to food. If you're serious about transforming your body and want a step-by-step plan that actually works, check out my workout programs designed to help you lose fat, build muscle, and just overall feel comfortable and confident in yourself. The link is below in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I have a bunch of different workout programs that I feel like you would love. So please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and check those workout programs out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.